A new siege machine, the Sky Wagon, a new Guardian, the Logger, and a new equipment, the Electro Fangs, are coming in the Clash of Clans update. This is Sneak Peek 2. I did break down the new defense and troop levels with Sneak Peek 1, but let's go over these three new items today, starting with the siege machine, available at Town Hall 17 when you upgrade the workshop to level 9. This will cost 26 million elixir, 13 days and 12 hours to upgrade, but this is not including any of the gold pass perks. I will naturally go over the mechanics and exactly how you should use this siege machine, but going over the numbers first, at Town Hall 17, you will be able to upgrade it to level 2 within the laboratory. That will cost 22 million elixir and 10 days. You will be able to see the stats for these individual levels. I will go over them once we get it to maxed. At Town Hall 18, you can upgrade it to level 3 first. That costs 26 million elixir, and then for 29 million elixir, you can get it to level 4, which is the maximum for the Sky Wagon. At this point, it will have a 6 attack count, and it acts very similar to the troop launcher, where you get a set amount of barrels. One of your clan castle troops will be dispensed with each of the barrels. The Sky Wagon has 4,200 hit points, so a bit more than the troop launcher. However, the Sky Wagon does not have diminishing health. Should it lose all of these hit points before it dispenses the 6 barrels, then you would miss out on some, but it would release your clan castle troops once the Sky Wagon goes down. That is, if you had any left. However, back to the barrels for the moment. You get 6 of those, like I said, with 5 minions, 1 balloon, and 1 baby dragon at max level. The level of these units also increases as you level up the Sky Wagon to the point where the minions, balloon, and baby dragon are maxed. Naturally, because you have multiple air units spawning, it'll be rare you get the enraged bonus from the baby dragon, but there are certainly benefits to using this siege machine. Now, when you deploy it, it will go to the nearest building, so it will target non-defensive buildings, get within about a 4-tile range of that, and start dispensing the barrels. Each time buildings are destroyed from these troops or other troops that you have within your army composition, it will just move to the next closest building. It has a relatively slow movement speed, the exact same as the Stone Slammer, but this is good because it will keep the Sky Wagon relatively well protected. Naturally, you could use the Sky Wagon with air attacks, but it can also be really good with ground attacks. Let's cover the air scenario first, because I do think this is a very user-friendly siege machine. If you like to keep it simple, create the funnel on either side, and send your dragon attack through, you could just send the Sky Wagon in with your dragons. It would act similar to the Stone Slammer, just giving a bit extra support, but with all of those extra troops, you could be tanking point defense. The monolith might just be locking on to minions rather than your super dragons. Yes, you're more susceptible to splash damage, but it's a simple option to give more power into the attack. You may want to set the funnel on the side of the base though for dragon attacks, and a lot of times we use the siege barracks to reinforce a hero, sometimes the flame flinger. I don't really think the Sky Wagon is better than those siege machines for that option. Unless you're sending the royal champion to a corner of the base as well, sometimes we do that with dragon attacks using the rocket spear, then you could have a little bit tanking and get a bit more value from the royal champion. But if you use the Dragon Duke nowadays to funnel a corner of the base, then you wouldn't want to use it alongside the Sky Wagon. Needless to say, as new troops, heroes, equipment, siege machines are added to the game, you get a lot more options in order to achieve certain goals. Setting the funnel on the side of the base, you can do in a number of different ways. Moving to ground attacks though, the Sky Wagon can actually be really good, because the troop launcher, a lot of people would put balloons in there in order to test for seeking air mines to protect the healers. Now you could do that with the Sky Wagon, but there is a downside. The troop launcher also throws wall breakers so that you can actually path through the base with your ground smash attack. So it depends on the options you're using. If you are using the heroic torch or jump spells or even root riders, something where you don't have to worry about breaking the walls as you go through, then the Sky Wagon is a great option. You can just place it behind your smash attack with the healers, and it is constantly checking for seeking air mines with the balloons to protect the healers. What it also means is you can be flexible with your clan castle troops, because when we use the troop launcher as Coco Loons, you have to fill your clan castle with balloons, whereas you might actually want to put ice golems in the Sky Wagon, so that they are dispensed and are freezing defenses as you move through with your smash attack, since you already have the balloons, 6 of them, getting dispensed as you move through the attack. Maybe you even want to put some balloons at the end, so when that last barrel goes off, you have a few extra balloons. Combine that with the Eternal Tome, you will basically be moving through the entire attack, checking for those seeking air mines, because the healers in smash attacks are the main thing that you have to protect. Moving along to the Guardian now, before we go over the Electro Fangs equipment for the Dragon Duke. Currently, we have the Longshot, Smasher, and now the Logger Guardian. Being in the Town Hall, naturally this is only for Town Hall 18 players. This acts very similar to the logs from the log launcher, but I would also say a cross between the Crusher Mortar when we first had that crafted defense. Going over the levels here first though, 18 million elixir and 7 days to upgrades, and you will have 5 levels for the logger. I will have the stats and upgrade costs for each of these levels on your screen. If you are going to be making purchases to accelerate your progress with this update, be sure to press the C and enter a content creator's code beforehand. My code is Judo. It helps me to pay my team and bring you the best Clash of Clans videos that I can. You can also do this on the Supercell store, where you earn extra items such as gems with your purchases. I always have a link to the store in the description of my videos. Once you hit the maximum of level 5, the logger has 12,000 hit points, more than the long shot, but less than the smasher. The damage per second is the lowest of these 3 guardians, but it is because you do have a larger range of impact, plus you get the 1 tile of pushback to the troops. So the logger has a 7 tile range initially. This is the troop it will lock onto and throw the log towards. After this initial troop, at maximum level, it has an additional 8 tiles, so it has a 15 tile range where it can deal damage, and any troops that it hits along that range will be pushed back by 1 tile. It doesn't matter whether the attacking units are ground or air, the logger will target any of them, and the log will hit both ground and air units as it's moving down that 15 tile range. Any low hit point troops the logger will make short work of, but you do have to be extremely careful because even healers will be taken out by just 3 logs. That means as you are moving to the Town Hall with your smash attack, you have to be extremely careful to not allow the logger to bounce through your healers, because the long shot, for example, well, that will just continue to hit the ground troops, and the splash is not large enough to hit your healers. Yes, it can lock onto your healers, but that is rare as you're approaching the Guardian. The logger will bounce through and hit all of the troops behind you, so make sure you have a totem spell to distract the Guardian, or a freeze, or some sort of plan if you're moving towards this with a smash attack. So I do feel like the long shot will still be very popular, but now, at least with the logger, I do foresee a little bit more variety in the Guardians used, because the Smasher, unless it gets buffed again, it's just not going to match up to these 2 Guardians. I, for one, am not looking forward to going up against this one. Finally, we have the Electro Fangs equipment, which is available at Town Hall 17 when you upgrade your blacksmith to level 10. This will cost 18 million elixir with 10 days to upgrade. Being a common equipment, the max level is 18, so you'll be able to get that straight away as a Town Hall 17. It starts with just 1 target that it chains to, but this increases to 2 at level 3, 3 targets at level 9, and 4 targets at the minimum level, shall we say, of level 15. All of the stats we will be flicking through, but you can see the passive ability works just like an Electro Dragon. Trumps a chain reaction through buildings surrounding Dragon Duke's target. However, the damage will decrease by 20% with each chain. At maximum level, you can see that the damage is 400, and the first chain will deal that 400 damage. At maximum level, you then have 3 other chains, and each of those will decrease by the 20%. You do get a hit point increase with this equipment as well. Mechanically, fairly straightforward. But what should you pair it with, and how should you use it? Well, since it is a passive ability, you don't have to actively trigger it. It is an option to pair alongside the rocket backpack, because that is one of the negative aspects of using the rocket backpack alongside the stun blaster or the flame blower, for example, because they are both active abilities. This means that you could technically pair the Electro Fangs with any of the Dragon Duke equipment. However, the two best equipment for the Dragon Duke are undoubtedly the Fire Heart and the Rocket Backpack. So the question lies, which one, if any, should you pair it with? I think in the current form of these equipment, the Fire Heart is a non-negotiable. The extra healing that you gain per second helps to keep your Dragon Duke alive so much longer. Since the chain works exactly the same as the Electro Dragons, where it will chain to the highest HP building first, you could use this if you notice an area where you could chain towards an air defense through storages. But to be honest, a lot of times we use the equipment so that they are flexible. You wouldn't be able to pre-plan this for a ranked attack. So the Electro Fangs will more than likely pair best with the Fire Heart or the Rocket Backpack if you're flying the Duke through the base. However, the question is then, why would you use it? In my view, even if you eliminate the Rocket Backpack and you want to go with the Fire Heart and you're just using your Dragon Duke to take down an area of the base, you're probably better off using the Stun Blaster, and you'll be likely supporting your Dragon Duke with a Totem Spell or two anyways. So to me, as I was using it, it felt like there were better options than the Electro Fangs. It gives you another option, but to be honest, I would not recommend putting your ore into the Electro Fangs if you have other equipment that would be more pivotal. Let me know what you think about these additions though, and if you have any ideas in particular for the Siege Machine or the equipment, I will place a recommended video from my channel on your screen that YouTube thinks you will like. Enjoy the rest of your day.